is I learned that the dinar would be exchanged for loans.
Wow.
For loans. Now, let me give you, I'm going to continue with this, but let me give you my intel. In Reno, they were talking about how possible we'll get paid. And we will get paid through oil and gold, for sure. Through loans.
How does that work?
Well, it's gonna be like a credit. It's not that you're gonna own them money, but they're gonna pay you through that. That's where the famous contracts are coming in.
Interesting.
All right, so that's why they have not come out yet with a final infrastructure of payment. They have not. It can actually change totally. Though they're not ready yet, believe it or not, I was so pissed off. And but they say that they have several ways we can get paid. One of them would be through oil and gold. Another one will be separated by silver. And another one will be separated by anything that has value on those countries. Like, for example, countries like have more thermal energy than others. They will use that thermal energy contrast and then pay us back as they earn a lot of money on the trading market. So based on that, they will come out with an infrastructure payout, and we may actually pay through years and years to come. So if you think that you're gonna be cashing out $1 million, $3 million, think again, because yes, you will get a lot of money, but they're going to really see if you really deserve to have that, because they're not gonna just give a retard money so they can come back and do a lot of harm to the country. It's not gonna happen. So that's basically other infrastructure they're working on when it comes to the FBI and how clean you are and how many times you've been in prison, etc., etc. Because more likely, if you have done something really bad in your life, you're not going to change.
Okay, so that was Benny and his show with Pastor Karen, and they're talking about a woman who had a dream back in 2015 about seeing that the revaluation was going to be done in loans. And Benny just went further on and said that it's going to be done in maybe oil loans and credit lines and things like that, gold and silver and credit lines. Now, it's kind of strange because yesterday's video was a throwback video of Prophetess Lana. And what does she say in the title? Things are not going to be what you think it is, right? It's not going to be the way you think it is, right? And so then we get this, right? So on the same day, that I posted that video, which was a throwback video, and then all of a sudden we get this, right? Where it seems like you can just, it's just going to be an exchange, it's just going to be a revaluation and exchange, and then you get to go to the banks and, you just exchange it, and they put it in digitally. They don't need to give you $1 million in cash. It's digital, right? So this is kind of, it's kind of a head scratcher because I've heard about this, but at the same time, we are in the digital age where you can exchange 100 million and it just goes into the computer. Like, you're not physically getting that money. It's going into the computer, and then you'll be able to use, you continue your daily life, right? It's that simple. So for me to hear about, again, about oil stuff, oil credit line credits and stuff, and you're not going to get all your money at one time or all this stuff, I'm hearing it again, right? So So it might be true, but at the same time, I don't understand why, because we're in the digital age. If I come in with 10 million IQD or whatever other currency, it's digital. Like I exchange it for a digital for something digital, right? I'm not getting $10 million back. Of course, the banks don't have that, right? But I'm getting $10 million on my on in my checking account, right? And I can spread it to my savings account, a margin account, or you know what I mean, like some type of other a Roth IRA. I can put some in a Roth IRA, an IRA, whatever you have open accounts you have open in your bank. You can put certain amount in those sections, and they can just do it digitally, right? So you don't need gold credit lines. You don't need none of that. We are digital, so there's no reason for people to have to even do oil stuff or oil contracts or oil. And another thing I was thinking about was I was thinking about the international Iraqi dinar bonds, right? I was thinking about that because when she saw a dream about loans, I was like, oh no, loans again, you know. And Benny was talking about the loans, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, Iraq did issue the international bonds, right? So that means that we can get the Iraqi international bonds. And I remember Donald Trump still has not made an announcement that I believe is a financial announcement that is going to piss people off. Now, could Donald Trump have made that announcement? We've already talked about this in like 3 videos already, and I said, yeah, he could have already made that announcement. And some people were thinking it was the Kim Jong-un announcement to go meet him and stuff. Okay, now if Donald Trump does make an announcement that really angers a lot of people, this is it right here. You're going to exchange for loans, right? So Donald saying because a bond is a loan, guess what Donald Trump could do? Donald Trump could come out and say that Iraq has changed their currency, and so that the currencies that we hold here in America from Iraq are no longer valid in Iraq, and that's the key, in Iraq. Remember we talked about this before. They're no longer valid in Iraq, and that you guys can go ahead and exchange them for international bonds. Iraqi international bonds, which are loans. Oh my God, people would go crazy. People would be very angry. Okay. So that could still happen, especially now that I'm hearing about these loans, okay, that we could be getting. I don't want no loans. I don't want no oil credit loan or credit line or gold. Matter of fact, I went to the exchange several times where I'm at, and at the kiosks, and they said, "Come on, when it goes up in value, come on back and exchange it." So that's why it's a head scratcher. Why I keep hearing about these banks and loans. Maybe it's just the cabal banks that are going to be doing these oil credits and gold credits and these silver credit lines that are going to be paying you every time they get revenue from oil or gold or silver. They'll pay you some money. It's an exchange. Why do we need a silver, gold, and oil credit line that you'll pay us when you receive revenue from the oil or the gold or silver? It's an exchange. Okay, I'm exchanging one currency for another currency, and it's going digitally into the computer. That's it. And I'm not even receiving the USD value. It's going into my computer, into a computer in my account, and then I'm just going to live normally, right? I have limits on my bank account, on my bank card. Some of you guys it's $3,000 a day, $5,000 a day. So and then you got limits on your credit cards. You got limits on how much you can take out per day on an ATM machine. So what is the problem? You know what I mean? The people are not going to exchange and then go, okay, I'm about to now start taking out $1 million a day. You can't do that right now, even if you had $1 million a day, right? So so it doesn't make any sense for oil. This could also be a deception, right? So just be careful, guys and girls, because I've been to many kiosks and they've all told me, hey, when it goes up in value, just come on in. We'll do an exchange for you, right? Now, of course, they're not gonna do a $10 million IQD exchange or a 10 million South Korean won exchange, right? But they'll do a 50,000. They'll do a 25,000 note. You know what I mean? So who says you can't just go up there? Maybe you go to 3 kiosks a day and you do 25,000 there, 25,000 there, 25,000 there, right? Of course you'll be losing money on the spread, but it is what it is. You've been waiting so long. Who cares about the spread, right? Long as it's not a massive spread that you're really really losing money, right? So maybe maybe it's the cabal banks that are going to be doing these oil credits, silver and gold credits, but the kiosks are telling me, hey, come on in, and once it goes up, come on in and exchange. There is no oil when you go. The kiosks are still going to be around when the IQD and all these currencies revalue, guys and girls. You can go to a kiosk in the mall. You don't have to go to a bank to exchange. You can go to a kiosk with a $25,000 note, and they'll give you $25,000. Okay, or they'll write a cashier's check for you. Okay, or something like that, right? So you know what I mean. So like, this is really hard. It's like, okay, is this in the deception? Because if Donald Trump gets out there and says that those who hold Iraqi dinar, right, let's just say Iraqi dinar, right, those who hold Iraqi dinar, it's not your currency that you hold that was issued is no longer valid in Iraq because they have issued new currency. So it's no longer valid in Iraq any longer because those currencies are now being removed from the streets. So what I suggest you guys do is come on into the banks here in America and we will exchange them for Iraqi international bonds. No. Okay, so that could be, and that's a loan. Okay, and that is a loan, guys and girls. That is a loan. A bond is a loan. Okay. So that could be that is a deception as well. Okay. And make it clear, Donald Trump's gonna, if Donald Trump does say this, he's gonna say they're no longer valid in Iraq, right? He didn't say they're no longer valid. He just said in Iraq because they're removing the 30 notes, right? So that's the key, is that they're no longer valid in Iraq because they're removing them from the streets because they have issued the new notes. Okay, so we're still waiting for the deception. We're still waiting for the climax deception, and we're waiting for the climax deception, and then the break, and then the release of the dinar, right? So I already think that we're in the break of the system now because all these currencies are devaluing. We're already seeing countries break away from the dollar now. That is the break in the system. They're breaking away from the dollar and the stronghold of the dollar in America. They're creating new payment systems and new payment transfer systems that remove themselves from the SWIFT. All this is happening now, so that's a break in the system right now. We're breaking the system right now of the SWIFT and the U.S. dollar and the world dominance of America. And many countries are breaking that system. Okay, next up is the pause deception climax, and then we see the dinar, right? So that's what we're in right now. So if Donald Trump does make that statement, which I don't know if he will or not, but it makes sense to make that statement, especially what this woman said. She saw loans. Okay, they were exchanging it for loans. Okay, which is what, you know what I mean, which I wouldn't do. Okay, I don't feel like I need to exchange something for loans. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, I don't care if it's oil credit loans or a loan or a silver loan or a gold loan or the Iraqi international bond loans. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna figure something else out. Okay, I'm gonna talk to the kiosks and see. Once this happens, I'm gonna talk to the kiosks and see how much I can bring in at a time to exchange and for cash. Okay, and then I can just go to my banks and put it into the banks, the credit unions. Okay, so we have time. I mean, you don't have to rush things. Of course, you're not going to have too much time because the price isn't going. I believe the price isn't going to stay up for that high very long. So if it goes up to like $3 and something, you know what I mean. If it comes out at 1 to 1 and goes up to 3 something, then that's and it's not going to stay up at 3 something very long. So we wouldn't need to make decisions. That's why we're talking about it now. Okay. But for me to go in and get oil credit loan, or a gold loan or a silver loan for an exchange of a currency, when you can just exchange it and I don't have to receive dollars, I just put it on the screen, right? It makes no sense. So I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. So I mean, of course, if that's the only option I have, and they ban the kiosks and the other exchanges, and your only option is the credit line loan thing, then that's the only option, right? But if there's other options, I'm gonna do the other options, okay? Because it doesn't make sense for me in the digital age to get credit line loans when you can exchange the IQD for the USD at the bank, put it in my account digitally, and never have to even give me back any US dollars. Okay, I can continue on with my life as normal, and I have the limitations set on my bank card. Withdrawals are like $600 at the ATMs per day. You got the limit on your card. You got a limit on your credit cards. So what's the problem? And it's all digital. I never have to touch cash. So I don't need these loans or these credit line loans or Iraq international bonds. Okay, so just be careful, guys and girls. And that's it. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done. And we're getting closer. We're getting closer and closer and closer. So we're gonna see how this plays out. And when it plays out, it plays out. And then you guys make the decisions on your own what you want to do. And I'm gonna try to see all options available to me, and then I'll make the right decision for myself and my family. All right, that's it. Take care. Eyes open. Bye.